She got pregnant. They were holding hands in the clinic room. We carried a grief that no one knew about.
The girl's fallen pregnant and she's now had an abortion.
And we were two scared students still lying to our parents about who we were even living with. Hello guys, welcome to episode 5 of the Garden of Truth podcast. I'm your host Asib Irshad, and with me today I have Ata Azmat, my good friend that was in another one of the episodes. How are you, Ata?
I'm good, thank you. Nice to be back. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, all good. How's this heat wave been treating you?
Do you know what it is? Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. It's actually been okay.
Yeah?
Growing up, I was more of a winter person, but now I think I'm 30 and I'm like, you know what? I need a bit of heat. So I'm kind of enjoying it, unfortunately.
I couldn't even sleep, to be honest.
Oh, really?
We're from Pakistan, but like this heat in the UK is unbearable.
Terrible.
Unbearable.
Absolutely terrible.
Like, so humid.
Sticky and
so
humid.
sticky, yeah, exactly. Awful. And the tube, don't even get me started. You know what I'm saying? No windows. This is awful. But anyways, apart from complaining about the weather like us British people like to do, we've received some great feedback from you guys over the last episodes, and our comment sections have been blowing up, and we've received some stories from you guys that you would like our advice on. So today me and Atta are gonna give you our completely unbiased advice, but big disclaimer, we are not
no professionals.
We
are no professionals.
We're just two homies chilling,
common bystanders,
shit, you know?
giving our personal opinion.
Exactly. Common bystanders. I like that. I like that. Well, this story is from a South Asian man that has sent us a message. His does not include a name, but he said it's called he's tired of hiding. So let's begin. He says, "Yo, bro. First off, I just want to say thank you for the space that you've built. Your podcasts are one of the only places where people like us can actually speak our truth without being judged. I've been holding this inside for too long, and I just need to let it out now before I go crazy. So I'm a Sikh guy, born and raised in the UK, and 5 years ago, back in university, I met a girl who's Pakistani and Muslim. We just started playfully flirting, and that turned into long convos, long nights, and before we knew it, it was real love. And he wrote, not Instagram kind of love, soul deep, ride or die kind of love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so after that he says it wasn't all sweet. So in our second year of dating, something happened that completely changed everything. She got pregnant, and we were two scared students still lying to our parents about who we were even living with. That's a real thing about South Asians that you don't know. You gotta lie about the dumbest stuff to your parents because you know that they wouldn't understand. And yeah, it's just gonna be an argument off the bat. Don't want that. And so having to face this type of situation is just, And so they booked an appointment in secret, and he said they were holding hands in the clinic room, and they both couldn't stop shaking, and that day has broken them. But they also built something that no one else would ever understand. And then after that, our bond wasn't just emotional or physical, but it became spiritual. We carried a grief that no one knew about. We cried together at night, and we healed each other silently while pretending everything was normal to the world. Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
so
unbelievably sad.
So just to kind of summarize, so we've got a Sikh gentleman.
Yes.
And we've got a Muslim lady.
Yes.
Girl.
They met at uni. You know, like a lot of people
don't know
do.
if they're adults or if they're like young, 18,
well,
out
if
of
they're
college.
at uni, I'm
but
assuming,
either way, they've gone and done XYZ.
Yeah.
And the girl's fallen pregnant and she's now had an abortion.
I mean, think about it for their perspective. You can't even tell your parents you're living with a girl, let alone you got her pregnant.
Yeah.
Like, you know, that's just a...
The thing is, I'm very traditional. I'm very old school. I would want my daughter to tell me who she's living with. Again, I know how you said that, you know, people don't tell, but I think this is why these things should be quite open and transparent, just to avoid this sort of stuff, because parents see it from a more mature point of view, and they can foresee this stuff kind of happening. They know, you know, you're going to uni, things happen, we all know.
Hormones are crazy during that time. You're all living together, mixed race, there's no boundaries. You can step into anybody's room that you want to. You can chill with anybody that you want to.
Unfortunately,
any society, anything like that. So
but that is quite crazy. Again, for both of them, I think whether it's culturally or religiously, they should know, their boundaries. That's my personal opinion, because that's the path I choose, being more religious about stuff.
But the thing is, they have said that they have grown up in the UK. I don't blame them for
They've gone on, sorry?
They've grown up in the UK, like they're raised in the UK. So like the culture here is a little bit more chill on dating than,
No, not really. Debatable, because
I mean, in general, I'm not in the South Asian community. I just mean like in this country, dating is normal. It's not.
I guess it's a different
arranged
society.
marriages are not normal.
Yeah,
in this country
it's a different society.
Yeah, exactly. Completely different society. So.
Quite a wild story. Quite sad for them, because they're traumatized for life.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, it's not done yet.
We still got, there's more.
So fast forward to the modern day, and he goes, now we're 5 years deep into this relationship. We've grown together. We've been through Ramadan and Vaisakhi together. We've respected each other's prayers and never once tried to convert or clash, and just had pure understanding. They made plans, involving rings and moving in and building a life, proper marriage stuff. But the same problem keeps following us around like a shadow. Her family found out and flipped. They said that if she marries me, she's cut off. He's not a Muslim. This is shameful. We didn't raise you for this, is what they said. So, and then he goes, my parents are not any better. All they care about is what the community will think of them, and as if love is a crime and I'm embarrassing the whole bin. We've tried to reason, talk, explain, and nothing works. And the more we push, the harder the wall becomes. And now we're both tired, not of each other, but of the hiding, the fear, and the emotional war between love and loyalty. And she told me just last week, I don't want to lose you, but I also don't want to lose my family. And that hit different, because I get it. I know she's torn, and I am too. But here's the twist, bro. That abortion, that pain we went through back in uni, that's what still fuels us. That's why we're still holding on. Because we've already lost something we never got to fully grieve, and we promised each other we wouldn't lose us too. So now I'm on the edge. Either I fight for her and risk losing my blood family, or I walk away and live the rest of my life wondering what that could have been. What would you do, bro, if the only person who's ever seen you at your weakest was now slipping away? Not because of love, but because of religion, family, and fear. Oof.
Wow, that's very intense.
First things first, my heart's out to you, brother. That's a tough situation, I'm not going to lie to you, and, hopefully Atta has some words of advice for you.
I don't know if I've got advice for anyone, because I think everyone's an adult now, and I think in the society that we live in, everyone's just going to say, well, I'm an adult now, I don't need to be told what to do. I know the law. And I know what my rights are and all that sort of stuff. But again, like I say, I'm quite self-disciplined with stuff, and when it comes to like religious or whether it's cultural, I'm aware and I'm conscious of the boundaries and like the difference between culture and religion. Going by religion, I would just say you need to have some self-control. I know it's done and dusted, but I can't help but say that you put yourself into this. Protection is one thing.
I mean, it's an adult thing to do.
Yeah, protection.
So you have to deal with the adult consequences as well.
Should have used protection.
Not to blame you guys, because it does happen. We're only human, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we're only human. Because it's not a judgmental channel at all. So.
No, of course not. You can't always have both sides. You can't get both worlds. Unfortunately, that's happened, and I think it's somewhat made them stronger. Yeah. Going through the abortion.
But
because they've emotionally.
But then the parents are saying like, you guys can't get married. One side saying he's not Muslim, the other one saying he's not Sikh. Or she's not Sikh.
To be fair, religiously and culturally, they're both just as strict. Both sides. Like
they are. Yeah.
Like the Sikhs, and then you get the Muslims. They're both just as strict. So, but again, these two have put themselves in this predicament. I don't even know. It's one of them wild stories. I don't even know.
That's crazy.
Because if I say my personal side, you have to walk away from each other. But then everyone watching would say, love is love. If you want to be together, go away, do your thing. But then I'm not condoning the whole things that come on around that.
I think part of the blame should be actually on the parents as well, like no nuance in terms of they're still treating their children as like a child. They're still your children.
We don't know what happened behind closed doors.
Telling them that, you can't do this and you can't do that. There has to be a little bit of nuance. Clearly they like each other, and clearly there's that thing there. But this is a problem in the South Asian community. A lot of marriages, especially from our parents' generation, are not born out of love. They're not born out of common interest. They're born out of, for the women, mostly necessity, and for the men also like reproductive necessity.
That was a very different time, but then one could argue they've lasted the longest.
because there's a stigma in our society as well, don't you think?
Of divorce.
Yeah, which is,
Correct.
I think it's a bad thing, to be honest, because people stay in abusive marriages,
Yes,
and
true.
stuff like that.
True,
Or
very good point.
they take their anger out on their kids,
Yeah.
for example, because
Yeah.
they hate their marriage,
Yeah.
So it all goes hand in hand.
It goes hand in hand, but
Yeah.
again, I think when it comes to these sort of things, parents foresee this stuff to a certain extent as well as an adult, and this is why they say don't do this, live separate, do this, don't do this, don't do
Yeah.
that, stay out of trouble. But if you've gone towards that and you followed your temptation and you've now landed in this problem,
Yeah.
God help you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a learning experience at the end of the day, isn't it, for both of them to know, like.
I think it's gone past experience now. It's they've gone through the whole abortion and it's just made them stronger, and now they're more inseparable.
Yeah.
So you can't really pull them apart.
I mean,
If you
yeah.
do, it will upset them, traumatize them for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And there's a saying that in Urdu Punjabi, like in Urdu, pehla pyar hi hota hai. Your first love is your first love.
Your first love,
And
yeah.
they will never ever get over that. They will never get over that.
It's
And
a
I know,
part of you, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's your first time that you've had those emotional hormones and whatever flowing through your body. It's even on a
Your first
scientific level,
experience,
you
yeah.
know, let alone all the emotional stuff that comes with it. But but what advice would you give to him? I'm gonna ask you. I know you're a very devout Muslim, and alhamdulillah, it's part of you. But if you were to put that part aside, what kind of advice would you give him to deal with this situation from a non-religious point of view? Let's say.
I think for both of them, well, in particular, if I had to say the Muslim girl, not to discriminate in any of them, but because I'm a Muslim, and I don't know how the religious side of stuff works for the Sikh guy.
Yeah.
She needs to find herself, and the way you would find yourself is by finding God and find the answers that you're looking for spiritually first.
Well, I asked you in not a religious sense, like practical advice. Let's say that. I'm not saying religion isn't practical. Like, I definitely helps me
It
in
just
my life,
varies because we don't know what she is like. We don't know her characteristics, how she thinks, her way of thinking, her lifestyle, her parents' lifestyle. So it's really hard to give advice to someone you don't know.
But it's this last paragraph that he says. It says, "What would you do, bro, if the only person who's ever seen you at your weakest was now slipping away, not because of love, but because of religion, family, and fear?" You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like, what would you say to that? Because that's what he's asking you.
This is such a tricky one.
It is a tricky
Honestly,
one, yeah.
you don't know where to put it. Like, society would just tell you, get together, run away, move out, do your own thing. But then, like the girl says, she risks losing her family.
Yeah.
So ultimately, they need to know what they both want.
Yeah.
Whether
It's a matter of priorities, isn't it?
yeah. Because he knows that if he wants her and she knows she wants him, but she also wants a family, because God forbid down the line they break up or something, and then she's like to family, oh, by the way, I want to come back, and they're like, oh, we told you so. Or don't come back now because we told you not to do that.
We told you not to do that, yeah.
So it's very tricky. This is why I say focus on yourself, find yourself, be a bit more strong and independent, establish yourself, whether it's in your career, religion, and then take it from there. The answers are normally within us.
I mean, in my opinion, the way that you have written this, I'm not sure of your name, but first of all, I wish you the best. It's a very tough decision.
It's a very tough decision. I do feel sorry to them.
I do not envy you at all. You know what I mean?
I feel sorry for him, because you can tell just from how he's written this, how
really
broken
hurts,
he is, and how
really
much it's affected him. And obviously, again, he will carry this throughout his whole life.
Yeah,
the trauma and the PTSD from it.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's not something that you can forget so easily. And and my heart goes out to you. But in my opinion, you have to. This is one of those decisions where you're an adult now. You've made adult decisions, and now you have adult consequences. So now, as an adult, you need to prioritize.
Yeah.
You need to sit down and think, okay,
reflect.
What is more important to me? Is this relationship, this person, more important to me than my family? Or is this somebody that I see the rest of my life with, as in waking up, sleeping next to them, cooking with them, doing laundry with them, all these things? That, or the acceptance of your family? God knows how many times I've had to fight with my family about certain things, and when there is something that you believe in truly, I believe that you should stand on business and speak your mind. If your parents feel a certain way about it, and if you do want to go the route of being with the girl, then you have to accept that you might not ever speak to your parents again. And if you go the other way, you have to accept the fact that you'll live with that grief forever, and you'll never see that girl again that you love. So it's up to you to make that decision, but this is the only advice that I can give.
What would be an Islamic advice now she possibly?
Okay,
So-
yeah, so if you couldn't hear it, he was saying, what is some Islamic advice that now we give to the girl? Over to you, Otto.
If the boy is willing to convert, then yes, you can go ahead, and that's like in one sentence.
Yeah, that's done. You
Yeah,
know? Yeah.
because otherwise the marriage doesn't count. It just comes as zina.
Yeah.
It just is looked at as adultery. There's no scope for it. It's not going to work with you. Your kids will be considered illegitimate. No. I'm sorry. The girl's going to have to walk away. If the guy can't, the girl has to walk away.
If the guy can't convert,
That's the
you mean,
religious
yeah.
advice. I know people are going to come for me just
Yeah,
for
no,
saying
no.
that, because, again, this is something to do with the brown South Asian community. People outside of that will probably look at it with a different mind, and they'll say, well, it's just two people who want to get together. You know,
Absolutely.
people live
They
together.
don't understand the
They
cultural
don't understand,
nuance. Yeah, the cultural nuance
yeah.
of, like, you know...
And religious nuance
Yeah,
of
I don't know
how-
about you guys,
of
but
how-
word spreads like this, you know.
And
in
it's
the
not
South
just
Asian
word, but it's
community,
from
yeah.
a religious point of
Yeah.
view. It's like, you know, again, marriage isn't...
That's where the judgmental
Yeah.
comes from as
yeah,
well.
but
from a religious
it's
point of
not
view.
just about judgment from people. It's about judgment from God.
Exactly,
Like,
exactly.
From
yeah.
from a Muslim's point of view, is this what you're going to take in your grave?
Exactly,
You know, when you're
yeah.
questioning the afterlife, your kids are going to be illegitimate. Do you want
Yeah.
to doom yourself to hell?
That's what you as the girl need to focus on as well. Exactly right. You need to.
Yeah.
Is this, if you're a Muslim and you are devout to your religion, is this something that you are going to be able to take to your grave? Something that you're going to be able to justify, or something that, you know, you're just going to do that is haram? You know, like.
And are you going to put your feelings first, or God's decision? Like, you
Yeah.
know, God said do this, and are you going to say, no, God, I know you said that, but I want this?
Yeah,
Is
you
that-
both have some big adult decisions to make. Decisions that you make now will affect you for the next 20, 30, 40 years. Alhamdulillah, you live that long, however long you live, you know? These are the times where you're going to have to make big boy decisions, big girl decisions, you know? And yeah, it's about priorities, you know? Is your religion your priority? Is that person the priority? What is
your
it?
family, your
Or
afterlife?
your family, yeah, your afterlife.
What are
is
you?
important to you?
That's why I say find yourself. Once you find yourself, because I believe when you find yourself, you find God.
Yeah.
Then you can the answers are inside you. Nobody can force you to. If you take somebody else's advice, you're just going to turn around and in the future say, why did I follow that person's advice? I could have done it this way. The outcome would have been different. Then you'll have that resentment for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. You
Time
never
wasted,
want
such and
that.
so.
I mean, we have a habit in the Asian community of our parents being the ones to make decisions for kids until they're a lot older as well. Exactly. So,
60s.
you know, it's,
But yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't give any better advice than that. But
no, it's completely
that's the-
fine.
That's how I, and I think most people would probably view that.
Yeah,
But yeah.
definitely. Well, thank you for joining us on episode 5.
Thank you.
Shout out to my friend Atta.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
for coming on the podcast
Thank you for having
again,
me.
and thank you for
having
your invaluable advice. And shout out to you viewers, and shout out to you, girl and boy. Hope the best for you guys, and if there is
Fingers
any
crossed.
updates, please leave a comment and make sure to subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys.